Hi there, this is Sean, the Honest Book Reviewer, with another book review. In this video we're discussing another cozy mystery book, and it's in a series I've just started reading for the last 2 weeks, and I'm loving this series so much. It's a cozy mystery with a library theme, so the main focus is a library, in a lighthouse of all things, but it's also set in a small town, almost a village, in a coastal area in the US. The two things just seem to combine so much. So even though we have that odd library that's set in a lighthouse, and the lighthouse is about 10 minutes drive out of the town, according to the book, it's just so much fun in that setting. It's not real, of course. I mean, what sort of library will fit in a lighthouse in the first place? But you don't mind when you read the series. It just seems so much fun. And I always think about Doctor Who's TARDIS when I read this series. I think that people are seeing a skinny lighthouse, they're walking in, and it's a huge expanse when they walk in. That's the feeling I get when I read this book. Book 3 is called Reading Up a Storm. I've got the book here. And again, the cover is just so good. We've got the lighthouse in the cover, we've got the cat in the cover, and the cat's name is Charles, and he's the library cat. He hangs around in the library all day. All the visitors in the library pat him, he sits on people's laps. He's just a great cat and a great character himself in this series. So as the title suggests, there's a big storm at the start of this book, and it's a massive storm. People are at the library for some sort of function, but they all leave in a hurry because the storm's so strong nobody wants to get caught in the rain, in the wind. Lucy lives in the lighthouse, in an apartment on the 4th floor. It's a tiny apartment, but she loves it. But anyway, during this storm, she's looking out the window for some reason. She just loves watching the rain and loves watching the ocean during the storm. But she sees this boat that seems to be floundering, and the boat's being drawn to the shore by these strange lights. And there shouldn't be lights there. There's no dock there. And Lucy's worried because if that boat is drawn to that part of the coastline, it's going to wreck against the rocks. So she calls the Coast Guard get involved, and they rescue the people on this boat. Sure enough, the boat does crash into the shore. The boat's almost ripped apart, but fortunately the 2 people on the boat are rescued. And these 2 people, they serve as central characters for this book. There's a guy in his 60s, and his name's Will Williamson. He's returning to Outer Banks from a life somewhere else up north on oil rigs. He says he's returning with heaps of money, and he's got a young girlfriend, and she's in her 30s, and her name's Marlene. So you kind of can imagine that relationship, can't you? Will and Marlene turn up again at the monthly book club, and we have another lady called Stephanie, and she turns up at the book club as well. She's a new character to this series. She's returned to the Outer Banks to look after her mother called Pat, and her mother had a fall. So Stephanie is a defense attorney who's taken a leave of absence from her job. So in this book, in this scene as well, we have 3 new characters, and they're all central to this story as well. The next day, there's a murder. Of course, Lucy discovers the body. If Lucy didn't discover the body, being the main character in this cozy mystery series, we couldn't call it a cozy mystery series. The main character always has to find the bodies. The murder victim is Will, and they find his body in a rowboat, and he's been stabbed in the chest with a knife. Not a nice way to go, but apparently he wasn't such a nice guy. There's a lot of people in the town who didn't like him. So we have quite a few suspects again. We also have a suspect in his girlfriend Marlene, who's 30 years younger than Will. We also find out that Will has a son, so there's another suspect. And we also find out another suspect is Stephanie, and I won't give out the reason why. You have to read this book to find out, but it is a pretty good motive for murder, and she is a pretty big suspect all the way through this book. This book, again, is a really fun read, and it's all because of the characters. And again, the best character in this book is Louise Jane. In every video in this series, I'm going to mention Louise Jane. She just goes to such extraordinary lengths to try to prove her point that all these strange things that are happening around the library, around the marshes in the library, just around the general area, are all supernatural or paranormal in nature. She's a huge believer in ghosts and the paranormal, and it stems from stories, she says, that her grandmother and great-grandmother have said about the area. They come from multiple generations back in this area. She is so desperate to prove to everybody that spirits are involved in all the murders. And in this book, she just goes to massive lengths to prove her point, going out in the middle of the night in all sorts of weather to hunt for spirits. And she takes a backpack full of herbs and twigs and all sorts of stuff because she wants to cast spells to rid the spirits, get them away from the lighthouse, get them away from the marshes. She's also convinced the lighthouse is haunted, and there are so many times in each book when she says to Lucy things about ghosts in the lighthouse. Are you worried about staying here by yourself, Lucy? You can leave and go back home to Boston if you want to. And part of the reason that she says all this stuff is because she wants Lucy's job in the library, but it is just fun to watch. And her character is just an amazing character in this book. And she doesn't seem to be deterred by anybody's comments about her hunt for these ghosts and spirits. She just seems determined, so determined to find out the truth, what she thinks is the truth, that she doesn't listen to anybody. And she's also got this ongoing thing going where Halloween's fast approaching, and she wants to have this big Halloween themed event at the lighthouse, and she's convincing the library board to let her do that. And she even wants to decorate the outside of the lighthouse in Halloween, decorations, and the inside Halloween stuff all through the place. She wants body parts everywhere, and nobody else who works in the library wants that, but I've got a feeling she will get her way. So the main plot is this murder, and Lucy has to get involved again to try to find out who the culprit was. This is the first book in this series that I found that the murder mystery part was really strong. It's so much stronger than books 1 and 2. And again, those characters are really strong, and in this book the characters are even stronger. So it's a much better read than books 1 and 2 in this series, and I was just waiting for that to happen because this series has so much potential. The first character I'm going to mention is the cat Charles, and I don't know why I've waited to video 3 in this series to mention him, because I adore cats. I love cats. Our cat is called Missy. Every now and then you might hear her meow, because she does wander through the room while I make these videos sometimes, and she likes to let herself known. So if you do hear her meow in any videos, it's just Missy. Anyway, Charles the cat is great as a character, and he is central because he pops up in a lot of scenes, and he's there all the time when Lucy's alone in the lighthouse by herself. When the library closes, Lucy lives on the 4th floor, so it's just her and Charles in the scenes, and so he's a central character to Lucy and to this series. He's always there as like a comfort for Lucy, and the way he pops up and hisses at certain people or rubs against their legs when they don't want him to, chases them even through the lighthouse when they don't want to go near him. He's just a great character, and it's a bit of comic relief as well. The other characters I'll mention are Marlene and Stephanie, and they're both new characters in this book. Marlene is the girlfriend of the victim, Will. She's about in her 30s, according to this book, I think. She seems like a bit of a gold digger, and even she admits it as the book goes on. So she admits the reason she was with Will is because of his money. He'd buy her things and buy her a car and buy her, champagne and wine all the time, clothes, anything she wanted, he'd buy for her. So basically she's a gold digger, and she even admits it. But she's got this endearing personality. You can't help but like her because she just comes across as so innocent and so genuine and so lovely to people. She doesn't have a bad word about anybody really, and she just wants to get on with people and become their friends. So even though she has that gold digger element to her character, you can't help but like Marlene. Stephanie is the defense attorney who's taking a leave of absence from her job, and she's going to look after her mother Pat, and her mother Pat fell down and broke both her legs, so she does need looking after. Stephanie's interesting because she's got a strong personality, but you can really see her getting worn down by looking after her mother. Stephanie is a good character in this series, in my opinion, and I like the fact that we're introduced to her in this book, and being introduced to her because she's looking after her mother is a nice touch. Being a defense attorney, we expect Stephanie to be argumentative, strong-willed, stubborn, competitive, all those type of things. But because she's looking after her mother, we see that nurturing and caring side to her character. And I thought that was such a clever way of giving us that character in this book, because we see how complex she is straight away. And it made me think straight away that this character is here for the long run. I do like Stephanie as a character, and I like the way she's being introduced into Lucy's life and to other people in the Outer Banks area. and she's becoming a really good character, and I just hope that she's one who stays for more books in this series. As I said at the start of this video, if you like cozy mysteries, I think you'll like this series and this book. I don't think it matters what themed cozy mysteries you like. I tend to like a lot of different themes in my cozy mysteries, but this is a really great series, and it's all because of those characters, and I'll say it again, it's because of Louise Jane. If you like characters that are just really eccentric and really off-centre and really out there, Louise Jane is for you. I can't get enough of her, and I want Louise Jane in her own series. I rate this book a 4 out of 5. I think this series is getting stronger as it goes along. The mystery in this book was so much better, and the characters are just so much stronger. I'm finding this series is becoming one of my favourite cozy mystery series of all time. I don't think it will top Agatha Raisin. Agatha Raisin is probably still number 1 for me, but this is going right up there, and I'm hoping to get my hands on every book in this series because I'm just loving it so much. If you want to know more about this series, check out my channel for videos on books 1 and 2. I'll also record a video for every book I read in this series, so subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out. I do review other cozy mystery books on my channel as well. There's a cozy mystery playlist on my channel. If you want to watch that, it should be on the screen right now.